So because we are a lesser audience, so I will not go with like some kind of introduction or anything. Just strictly to the topic, and we will move forward. So let me let me share my screen. So today's topic is for database structure, basically a structure query language, which is used in all the databases, whether it's a relational or non-relational databases. So first thing, what is database? And we will go with all the fundamentals of database here. So uh, if you think about the database, you can say we can say there is a structured or mean to say structured data, organization of data in a structured manner by which we can store or retrieve the data, retrieve and manipulate the data. So it will be better if you can just let me share my whiteboard. It's my first first class, so that's why a little bit I have to arrange few things. Here is my whiteboard. So, you can start with the notepad. I'm preparing the document as well, but right now we will go through just a broad. We will go with the broad idea with the database and SQL, and post that I will share you all the document for further analysis. So, hope my screen is visible to you, both of you. My screen is visible to both of you.
Yes, yes. We are able to see this first screen where your links are there, Ashok, LinkedIn, YouTube. Is that you are sharing or anything?
I'm just sharing my notepad. Are you able
No,
to see?
Notepad is not.
Yeah.
We are able to see Word document.
Sorry.
We are able to see Word document, not the Notepad.
Word document. Okay. Let me share once again. Now.
Yeah.
So first of all, the question arises: what is database? I will go with the like basic, and then you meant to say easy, then little bit complex, and bit more complex. So this way, I will start the SQL basic essentials of SQL. So first of all, what is DB? The term DBMS. Tell me what is DBMS? Can you explain in a one liner? Raju?
Yeah. Database is what you can say, it's a centralized system where the data is being stored in a meaningful, informative manner. It's like in the tables, we can store the data, and, so that the retrieval also. Data retrieval also very easy and convenient
Let
for
me
the read and write purpose. Yeah.
exactly. So let me quickly tell you about that. The DBMS means database management system. Mean to say that the system in which we are organizing the data in the way by which we can like we can store or manipulate or pull the data, query the data for our further purposes. So in database is simple, you can say simple organized data in which there are no relation between the two files. For example, like MS Access, flat files, flat, flat files. Flat files means if you store any data in MS Access and flat files, there is a data, but there is a no linkage between two set of mean to set of data sets. Like there are no link between two data sets. I mean, there is no relation between two data sets. So this kind of database is called DBMS only. So for example of DBMS is MS Access and flat files, etc. So now comes to RDBMS. RDBMS is nothing but but it is also a database, but in that there is a relation between the two data sets, or you can say two, two tables. So only difference between DBMS and RDBMS is the relation. In DBMS, there is no relationship between two data sets or tables. Here in the RDBMS, data is organized in a way that we can store, manipulate, and pull the data, and there is a relationship between two tables or two data sets. That is called RDBMS. So there are many kind of RDBMS are there in in our industry, IT industry, like MySQL. MySQL, basically, this is used for PHP community small scale. If we need the small scale projects, we use the MySQL. Another one is Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, IB2. Maybe there are a lot of database are there based on the vendor. Like MySQL is open source. My MS SQL is provided by the Microsoft. Oracle is definitely Oracle provided by the Oracle. So and also in nowadays there are other databases also there, like MongoDB, MongoDB, Pro ProGSQL. So these kind of databases are the RDBs. Okay. In practical approach, I will let you know each and everything in the practical session. So just now you just go through the like fundamentals, so that once we go with the practical classes, then we can understand better way. So this one is the DBMS, RDBMS. So now what kind of operations or commands uh, uh, we can do in the RDBMS? Let's go with the Microsoft SQL Server. We will go with the Microsoft SQL Server. Based on the project and based on the organization's need, we use any kind of databases in our project, whether we can use MySQL, MS SQL, Oracle, MongoDB, and PostgreSQL, etc. So in RDBMS, for any kind of like operations, whether it's a query, whether it's a query, whether it's a manipulation, whether it's a, mean to say any kind of operation is done by the by a programming language that is called SQL. That is called SQL, mean to say query, structured query language. Structured query language. So this structured query language is common for all the DBMSs, all the RDBMS. So just it might be there is bit of syntax change, but more or less like 99% the SQL query language is SQL is same for all the RDBMS, whether it's a MySQL, whether it's a MS SQL, whether it's a Oracle 11, MongoDB, PostgreSQL. A structured query language more or less the same. Okay, so here as what kind of operations or what kind of commands are there in SQL? I mean to say what kind of tasks we can do with this SQL. SQL means you structured query language. So there are three kind of three types of operations we can do. So first kind of what first is you can just put it DML. First one is DML, that sorry DDL. Go with the DDL. Data definition language. Okay. So as the name suggests, what it will do, if there is a need data definition, mean to say the query which is used to define any structure, whether it define a structure of table, stored procedures, or indexes. So for this, it is for this we will use the DDL commands, data definition language. So what comes in that? It comes. It's like creation of data, creation of table, indexes, database. So when there is a need to create a table, create a database, or create an index, we use the DDL commands. Another one is DML, data manipulation language. Mean to say, data manipulation language. ठीक है? Just bear with my typo mistakes because it will consume time if I put my more effort on that. So but what the DML commands do, as the name suggests, manipulation. So any kind of simply just to keep in mind, if any kind of manipulation is there, we will use the DML commands. So like insertion, any kind of data insertion, deletion, and update. So if there is a need of any record insertion and a deletion of any record, deletion of updation of any record, we will use the DML commands. Third one is the DCL, data control language. Data control. Everything hidden in their name itself. Just to remember the thing. Okay. DCL, as the name, as you can name the command control. Mean to say, if there is a need to provide any kind of access on the data, we will go with the DCL commands, data control language. So what kind of things we can do, like providing grant grant access, revoke access, etc. Mean to say, if there is a need to, sorry, you may any 10 minutes. Your question. Okay. So, guys, I have only 10 minutes because I'm using the free version of Zoom. So it only allows us to schedule a meeting for 45 minutes only. So once I get the paid version, then I can schedule a meeting for more times. So DCL command, another is the data transaction commands. So as the name suggests, means transaction commands are there. T stands for transaction. So what kind of operation we can do here? Like in this, there are commands like commit, commit, rollback, save point. Raju, you have experience in SQL, so if I'm lagging somewhere, you can pitch in, and you have anything to like
Yeah, sure, sure.
rectify, you just let me know. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So priming command, if you wanted to put mean to say some commitment, and a rollback, and is creating any save point. So these kind of commands are there, basically used for transactions, like any financial, uh, if there is a need to execute any block in a single go, then we will use the transaction commands. I will let you in brief in details in further, but because this one is the first call, so I will just go with the point, little the brief introduction of all the things. Further, I will let you know in details each and every. So these are the majorly four kind of commands we will use. So another next thing is that what are the other functionalities are there in the SQL server? Uh, so other things we have to go with the topics in SQL are, you need to say what are the topics we have to cover in SQL or SQL studies. Need to cover first of all joins, procedure, functions, triggers. Okay. Trigger, uh, post that post covering all these topics, like the joins are of different kinds: inner join, outer, full join, cross, cross joins. So there are types of joins, subsets of these topics also. So we will cover in the in details in other classes. Stored procedure. There are some stored procedure are two kinds of stored procedures are there in the SQL. One is the system meant is a built-in function, built-in stored procedures. Built-in, built-in SP, let's put in abbreviation. Built-in stored procedures, user-defined user-defined stored procedures. The same way functions are built-in or system-defined or system-defined. Another one is user-defined. Yeah. And third one is the trigger. Trigger are of there. There are two kinds of basically there are two kinds of triggers are there. One is the after trigger. They are further classified, but mainly there are two kinds of triggers are there. After triggers and instead of trigger. Instead of just in the because this one is the first class, so you have to just uh, keep in mind all the topics what we have to cover. So I'm just providing with a broader way of the things and features and the topics we have to go through in the SQL. Okay. Like function, user defined these are the topics we have to cover in that. And post that there are some scenario based questions also, because until unless we are quite handy in we are not quite handy to write down the query in SQL. We are not nobody can hire us. So post going through all the function, all the covering post going through all the topics in SQL Server, we have to put our hands dirty in SQL servers practically. So in further classes, I will show you or let you know how to write down DML, DDL, DML, DCL, and DTC commands, and I will go with the further detailed in all the topics like joins, stored procedure functions, triggers, what kind of what happened in the inner outer full and cross joins, what are the built-in or system defined stored procedure, what are the user defined procedures, how to write it down, like on functions. Like in user defined function, there are majorly three kinds of functions are there. First one is the scalar, second one is tabular, and third one is multi-tabular or window function. Nowadays, there are quite useful feature functions are there that is called window functions, window functions or ranking functions. They are quite useful while writing down the queries. So we will go with all these topics. And once we're done with once we covered all these topics, we will go with the scenario based or use cases which are getting implemented in all the projects in IT industries. Like because it doesn't matter that how you are writing the query, the queries should be optimized, and we have to write the query in the way so that the response time is uh, minimized. So we have to write down the query in that way. So there are a lot of ways to optimize the query. I will let you know because it will not I can't cover it all the things in a single class. So once we go with all this kind of all the topics, then we will go practically and the implementation of SQL exactly in industry, and how to optimize the query, how to write down the optimized functions, how we can use the function in better way. What's the difference between store precision function? How where is the situation we can use triggers? Okay, in triggers topic there is a thing coming as a